My name is Jose Vargas, and I am on a mission to help you create breakthroughs in your personal and professional life so that you can grow and lead your life with excellence. Welcome, everyone, to the Jose Vargas Show. This podcast was created for leaders to help leaders strategize and create breakthroughs. I am your host, Jose Vargas. And listen, I want to thank each and every one of you for listening and for emailing me, for texting me. For those of you who message me on social media, I want to thank you and for sharing with me how you enjoyed the last episode. And if you haven't listened to that last episode, the first episode actually, I want you to go back and listen to it as I share with you some of the steps, and actually the first step to the lead through method. Episode 1 was actually the first time that I shared some of my story with everyone. And I am grateful that it is helping you in your own leadership journey. And I hope that it continues to help you in your own leadership journey. Someone said to me the other day, hey, listen, I love your podcast, but I'm not a leader. And my answer to that is, listen, if you have someone that you influence, then by definition, you are a leader. Whether that is your child, whether that is your family member, or whether that is your coworker, if you have influence, then you are a leader. You may be at a smaller scale leadership position or not an actual position, but you are a leader. You have influence. And so this podcast is geared to help you as a leader, as a person of influence. Whether you are leading a family, like I said, or a team, a department, or organization, I want to help you grow. And I want to help you get unstuck so that you can lead your life and the people who you influence with power and purpose. I was excited to have one of my big brothers and his wife, Sabrina, to spend the weekend with us in Washington, D.C. not too long ago. We had a blast. And we created wonderful memories. On the last day, as they were preparing to head home, we decided to do one more stop and decided to pick up lunch at this burger joint. 100% grass-fed burger. Must be good. So we went in. As soon as I looked at my fries, I knew this was going to be hard to eat. Fries were soaked in grease. Burgers, although it had the works, and when I say the works, I mean bacon. How can you go wrong with bacon? Well, don't judge me now if you're listening to this, but they did. The food was horrible, and it was tasteless. We were disappointed, and if you ever had an experience like this, you know the disappointment you feel because you're excited to eat, you're hungry, right? And my brother said to me after we were done and we were walking away, a little town there, hey, that was an in-person course, huh? Knowing I like creating courses to help leaders win, he said, that was a great course. And I said, yep, a $26.24 times 2 course that took me less than an hour to take. And it taught us where not to eat next time. That burger joint, it stinks. All right. I won't mention the name here, but if you want to know, just let me know. Sometimes we go through experiences, but reflecting on those experiences and dissecting the lessons learned is the key to growing. So if you don't learn from your past, you're going to repeat it, right? We've heard that many, many times. You see it on social media all the time. When I'm coaching someone, and I definitely do this myself, I take them and I take myself through the lead through method, right? The second step in the lead through method is for leaders to get unstuck, or if you want to get unstuck, I call this step dissect it. And what do I mean by this? And that's what I'm going to teach you in this podcast, in this episode. Like our burger experience, in life we go through good and bad experiences. And we should not allow those experiences to pass us by without first reflecting, analyzing, and learning from those experiences. This burger joint taught us where not to go and how to better research ahead of time. It taught us to pay attention to the reviews. Now, in this step, I ask the people that I coach, what has led you there? What has led you here? This question can get really deep because depending on how honest and open a person wants to get answering this question will determine the level of breakthroughs they see in their lives and leadership. And that's great in coaching. Now, obviously, we can't get too deep in this episode, but I want you to think about your life and your leadership right now. Think about where you are and what has led you to where you are. What decisions have you made that has led you to where you are in life? What thought process? What assumptions did you make? What were you feeling when you made the decision? What was your state of mind? What was your environment like? Was it a hostile environment? Was it a peaceful environment? Was it a crazy environment? Was it COVID-19 environment, right? Did you make these decisions based out of facts or fear? So, as I'm asking you to dissect your situation, and the reason I'm asking you to do this is because it will bring about revelation. Now, I want you to listen to me. Some of that revelation will allow you to see how stupid some of the decisions that you made were, and some would allow you to see not to make assumptions next time. Others will allow you to take note of the bad choice that you made, or maybe not to make decisions when you're tired. So let me just give you an example, and this example is a very basic example. But let's say you're stuck in your finances, personal finances, right? Or it could be your organization's finances. But let's say you're stuck in your finances. You're overwhelmed with debt. Too much month at the end of the month, right? If you follow the first step of the method that I call locate it, you now know your numbers. Okay, you know your numbers. You know where you are. You know you're in debt. You know the amount of debt that you're in. You know who you owe money to. You know where the money needs to go, right? You know that the picture is clear. You are clear about the mess you're in financially. And now that you're clear, you can start paying off debt, but without you identifying the root cause of what led you there, you're bound to repeat the same situation over and over again. So I want you to do something right now. I want you to resist the urge to attack the problem just yet. I'm not saying don't attack the problem. I'm just saying postpone it just for a moment while you figure out what you did or what was done to get you to where you are. I want you to make sure you apply this step to your current situation in which you are in, right? In which you need your transformation, or in which you need your breakthrough. It could be your health, it could be your faith, it could be your relationships, it could be your business, it could be your team. Apply it to your current context, right? But let's continue to use our example on debt for a moment. What has led you there? Now, before you blame someone else, remember this. If you want to get unstuck and lead your life, you can't lead if you decide to blame. I'm going to say that again. You cannot lead if you decide to blame. You must take ownership. From this day forward, you must take ownership. That is what people who lead their lives do. Now, what habits have you developed that have contributed to you being in that situation? Because we all have habits, right? We all do things the same way every single day. We might not notice them, or we might subconsciously do them. We do have habits. So what habits have you developed that have contributed to you being in that situation that you're in? What mindsets have you continuously nurtured that have given you the same results that you're getting today? Now, using the same example, let's say you got in this debt by using credit cards because you, quote, needed to buy that new wardrobe. Well, and I'm not judging you, by the way, but could it be possible that the way you handle money isn't working? What if the way you viewed momentary discomfort or delayed gratification is altered, and that is the thing that you must work on? Maybe you need to turn over your debit cards and cut your credit cards, because now you know that spending wasn't about the wardrobe, it was something deeper. but it was also an eye-opener that you need a makeover when it comes to handling money. So identifying the thought process that led you to the act will help you make better decisions next time. Now, let me give you another example. If I take a wrong turn while driving because I was distracted talking or listening to the radio, true story, then in order for me to get back on track, I must remove or correct the source of my distraction. Pause the conversation, lower or turn off the radio. I now know what caused the momentary delay. So I remove it, or I pause it, or I do whatever I need to do in order to get back on track. If you accept responsibility like I am doing as far as this example is concerned, right? So you accept responsibility, you dissect what are the causes? What are the decisions that you have made that has led you to where you are? Then you can change the next decision, which will in time change the outcomes that you're getting. To use my example from earlier, what led us, my brother and I and our wives, what led us to this trashy burger joint? Now, we were hungry. We didn't research reviews. We assume it was good. How can you mess up a burger? We thought, well, there's people who will mess up a burger, but we rushed the process. So we dissected the situation, and these are the things that we came up with. But here's the beautiful thing. I won't do that again. So as you look at that area where you are wanting to lead, right? Figuring out what led you to that situation will give you clarity so that you can change your behavior or your decisions. This applies if you're seeing success as well. If you're listening to me and you're like, you know what, I'm seeing success, but I want you to listen carefully because this applies to you as well. Applying the second principle of dissecting it will guarantee more of the success you are enjoying. By identifying the thoughts and the actions that drove you to the outcome will help you repeat it next time. Now you know why you're having the success. You can point to it. It's no longer a mystery. And you crack the code, so to speak, in your particular situation. Now you know. So now identifying what has led you to where you are will bring about revelation, or it will bring about insight. But the mistake that I see often is an expectation for instant gratification or instant change. And I do believe that if you make changes, you will alter and change the direction that you're going in, and therefore the results that you're getting. But I also do believe that there are some thought patterns or behaviors that are not going to be so easily changed. Okay, so I want you to have grace and patience with yourself. It's going to take work, and it's going to take intentionality. But here's the bright side. A lot of people continue to make the same mistakes over and over again and not understanding why they keep getting the same results. So even though that your identification of the problem or the reason why you are where you are, now that revelation of it can be daunting, right? Oh my gosh, I did this and I continue to do this. This is why I continue to end up where I am. See, that can be daunting, but it will also be liberating because now you have something to work on. You're no longer accepting your life as it is. Now you're leading it towards where you want it to go. And that should get you excited. Now, if you're succeeding now, you have a recipe, so to speak, so that you can share and multiply with the people that you're leading, which will increase your influence and impact within your world, your organization, and your family. Now, I want to read to you an article, or actually it's part of a book. It's Transformational Leadership by Hugh Blaine. And in his book, he writes this. He said, we are a hyper-connected culture. We are connected to our bosses, our employees, and our colleagues through our smartphones and email. A Gallup panel survey conducted in April and May of 2015 showed that 81% of adults have a smartphone. This is, again, 2015. Within reach during their waking hours. And 80% of those who have the phone in close proximity check their phones a few times per hour. This leaves you more reactive than proactive. So what he's suggesting here, and the reason I bring this article is because I want to suggest it to you as well, is a 15-minute block of time once before you start your day and once before you end your day. This is a time where you unplug, where you disconnect and take an inventory of what's working and what's not working with regard to your leadership, your team, your results, and your life. For example, the questions that you might ask at the end of the day to help you identify where you are, I'm going to give you 6. And in it, he writes this. He said, number 1, what success or successes am I most grateful for today? Number 2, what specifically did I do that helped me be successful? And what can I do to leverage this success for even greater successes and satisfaction? Number 3, where did I come up short today? And be honest with yourself. Number 4, what specifically did I do that resulted in me not being successful, and what patterns or themes am I seeing that needed my attention? Number 5, what will I do differently tomorrow? And number 6, what help, if any, will I need tomorrow to be successful? See, that's an exercise that you can do in the morning before you go to the office or before you go to work or before you start your day. Figuring out, and maybe in the evening. Now, I understand we're all busy, but it takes intentionality to lead your life. Dissecting the experiences in your leadership, in your life, will help you improve your life, and it will help you lead it forward. And I just want to say this. It takes time. It takes work. But together, I believe that we can become a leader worth following. You don't have to remain stuck. You don't have to put up a front, but you can take actionable, practical steps to get breakthroughs and not accept your life, but lead your life towards excellence and towards impact. Because isn't that what you and I want? We want to have impact in this world. We want to have impact in the people and with the people in our lives. I want to thank you for joining me today. I want you to please share this podcast with 2 other leaders. And I want you to leave me a review. I look forward in hearing from you, and I'll see you soon.